Hi everyone, it's Tara with Secret Bee Studio, and I'm going to show you how I made this amazing art journal filled with tons of pages for documenting and journaling your art journey. For this journal, I'm using the new Simple Stories Hey Crafty Girl paper collection, which is so stinking cute and has beautiful and vibrant pattern papers along with fun and adorable stickers, chipboard, and ephemera for every craft in your life. I also use the coordinating Simple Basics paper kit as well. For the pages of my journal, along with the patterned paper, I'm going to be using sturdy 65-pound white cardstock. The covers of the journal are cut from heavyweight chipboard, which will be covered with the patterned paper. And here you can get a small glimpse of all the delightful accessories of the collection, including a stencil and stamps and coordinating dies. I cut the covers of chipboard to 6 1/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches. I also cut 4 of the same size pattern papers to cover all sides of the chipboard. My pages are all cut smaller at 6 inches by 8 1/4 inches. I end up with 13 patterned paper pages and 17 white cardstock pages. I also cut 2 pieces of pattern paper to 6 by 12 inches to make a couple of pocket pages that will fold up 3 3/4 inches at the bottom. Additionally, I will be creating a side pocket page from a patterned piece of paper cut to 9 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches long. I will be folding one side over to form the pocket. For the bottom folded pocket pages, you're going to score this 6 inch by 12 inch patterned piece of paper on the long side at 8 1/4 inches. Then fold up the small portion and adhere. My journal will be bound together with a cinch binding, so I only need to adhere the one side that will not be part of the binding. If you use a different system to hold your journal together, such as metal rings, I would suggest adhering both sides of the pocket. I am using 1/8 inch score tape to adhere my pockets together. A very easy way to tear the score tape in a straight edge is to use an acrylic block placed at the edge of the tape. Hold firmly and then tear your tape. If using score tape, always burnish well with a bone folder. It makes it so much easier to remove that pesky backing. I do this for both pockets, adhering opposite sides so that one pocket will be on the front of a page and one pocket will be on the back. For the side folding pocket page, score the 8 1/4 inch by 9 inch patterned piece of paper on the long or 9 inch side at 6 inches. Fold the 3 inch portion over and adhere just the top and bottom edges. So here I have covered all sides of the chipboard with strips of 2 inch score tape. Score tape is a favorite of mine because it holds so well, but feel free to use your favorite adhesive. Take the 4 larger pattern pieces of paper that are cut to 6 1/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches and adhere them as you want to each side of both chipboard pieces. As I said before, I will be binding my journal using a cinch machine and cinch wire. Another simple way to attach your journal would be using metal rings if you don't have a cinch. I will be using my cinch to punch holes in the covers, the pocket pages, and all of the patterned paper and white cardstock pages. You may notice that the covers of my journal have an extra hole at the top and bottom that the inside pages don't have. This is because I cut the inside pages smaller. It's not an issue when I bind the journal and it looks great, but if I were to do it over, I would make the covers and the pages all the same length. Okay, so everything has been hole punched with a cinch, and it's time to start putting this journal together and start decorating the covers and the pages. Just remember, my journal is just an inspiration with a bit of direction to those watching this video. I want you to take my ideas and use them however you want to create a journal that is totally designed for you. Here's my front cover of the journal as I want it to be decorated. Everything's placed temporarily, and I haven't adhered anything just yet. I have added a strip of paper to the left side, and I have cut down a 4x6 element card from the collection with a scalloped edge. As I start putting it together, you will see that I make a few changes and adjustments. Another important thing is that you will also see I add a bit of glue to the sticky side of chipboard pieces before I adhere them down. This is because I have learned over time that the chipboard adhesive isn't that long lasting and the chipboard has a tendency to lift or fall off. I add some dimensional adhesive to this chipboard button so it will layer over the other piece of chipboard, and then I finish adding in and adhering the final pieces. On this first page, I'm using the Hey Crafty Girl stencil along with some embossing paste that I've colored with some ink refill, and then I've added a little bit of perfect pearls as well for a bit of shimmer, which you can't really see here in the video. I've taped the stencil where I want it, and using a craft knife, apply the colored embossing paste to the cardstock. Once I remove the stencil, I have a colorful and textured background that I will add embellishments to later. You will see the finished product at the end of this video. The embossing paste takes an hour or so to dry, so I will set this aside while I continue to work on pages. For the next page, I will again use the stencil, but I apply just plain embossing paste. I want the hearts just on one side of the page, and I'm going to have to stencil once and then move the stencil and repeat the process, being very careful to not disturb the shapes above the new ones because they are still wet. I plan on using some watercolors on these hearts once they are dry. Again, set this page aside to let it dry completely. To start decorating my other pages, I put all of the loose embellishments into a muffin tin to keep them somewhat organized and to give me easier access. I have also used a washi tape die and cut several pieces in various sizes to enhance my pages. You could use real washi tape for this as well. I also used the small heart die of the collection and cut out several small hearts in patterned and white paper. I don't show every page being decorated and embellished, otherwise this video would be hours long. Don't worry, I show the whole journal and all of the pages at the end. For this first pocket, I add a 3x4 element card and let it hang over the edge a bit. Once that is in place, I decide on stickers, chipboard, and bits and pieces to add around it. I also add an element card to the front of this pocket page, and then decide to go a little bit further and make an additional pocket out of it. I adhere it on 3 sides, leaving the top open, so then I can slip a tag from the collection inside. That tag will stick out just a bit, which adds interest to the page. I simply staple a piece of ribbon to the top of the tag, which adds color and makes it easier to pull out. I add a cute little sticker to the tag, and this pocket page is complete. You will see the other completed pocket pages at the end of this video when I show the journal in its entirety. I decided I wanted tab dividers for my journal. I used a die and cut 4 different shaped tabs, 2 of each. I picked out 4 patterned paper pages to use for these tab dividers and decided which tabs would go on each page. I apply adhesive to the back side of each of the matching tabs and then simply adhere the tab to the page. I staggered my tabs, meaning I put the first tab at the top of the page and then moved each subsequent tab a bit further down on the second, third, and fourth pages. You can see how I checked in between pages to make sure all of the tabs were placed correctly. Once all of the tabs are in place, I add a descriptive sticker to the front of each tab. I also add embellishments to the back side of the tab, I just don't show it here. Then you can see I try a variety of element cards for the front of the first tab divider page and finally decide to keep it fairly simple with just a couple of strips of the paper washi, a 2x2 element card, and a sentiment sticker. Super cute. I do decorate the fronts and backs of all of the other tabbed pages, which you will see later. For this first white cardstock page, I'm going to use the Hey Crafty Girl stamps to add a couple of images, and then I'm going to add in some journaling space using a ruler and a marker. To make adding the lines a bit easier, I apply washi tape on both sides of the page where I want my lines to stop. Because I'm using a T-ruler to keep my lines straight, I fold the washi over the side of the paper so I can use the edge for my ruler. I use the small end of my marker to make the lines and then just eyeball the distance between them, being careful not to go over the stamped images. Once finished, I remove the washi tape and add in a few more embellishments. On this next page, I'm going to draw in a couple of journaling boxes to add interesting detail to the page. I add a couple of stickers for the top of each box and then freehand draw them. Once those are complete, I add in more stickers and decorations. I add in some numbers to the top box as well. When you see this completed page at the end of the video, you will notice that I redid it using a ruler to make the boxes more straight. That's just my personal preference. You can do it however you would like. I wanted to include a double page spread to journal about my craft space, which is definitely my happy place. I add in some letter stickers at the top of the left page using a ruler so they will be straight. And then I pop up a sentiment sticker for some dimension. I place all of the components I want on the page first without sticking or gluing them down so I can see if that's exactly how I want them. Once I'm happy with an embellishment, I adhere it into place. I keep the pages fairly open so I can add in photos and words. I always like to add interactive elements to my journals, and that is exactly what I do on this page. I first put a chipboard embellishment at the top, and then I will score this 4x6 element card so that it flips open for more space underneath. I add a bits and pieces flower to the side to hold the card closed. I score on the left side of the card at 1/2 inch and then adhere it to the page. For the flower, I only apply adhesive to the right side so that the left side will lift and hold the element card in place. I then add in a few more embellishments and this page is complete. This next page has a combination of embellishments and stamping. I adhere 2 paper washi strips together and then put adhesive only at the top so that a photo or card can be slipped underneath. I do the same thing with this chipboard embellishment. I dust powder on the lower half to make it not sticky, and then put a bit more glue on the top half and adhere it to the page. This leaves space to slip something under the whole decoration. Then I use the tiny heart stamp of the collection and stamp multicolored hearts at the bottom of the page and in one of the corners. I'm going to make another journaling page using a stamp from the collection and some bits and pieces. I stamp and color in the image and place the other elements first before using the washi tape masking technique to make my journal lines. You can see on my first line I used the wrong end of the marker, but no worries, I fixed that in just a little bit. Once the lines are complete and the washi tape is removed, I simply cover the first thick line with some embellishments which I think enhance the page even more. I need to start working on my pattern paper pages, and here I add a large decorative element to the top of the page and then layer in a journaling card and a few more embellishments. Super simple, but super cute. I keep the back side of this page simple too by stamping the same image up one side. Using the same image makes a visual impact on the page and looks great. A colorful sticker at the top completes this page. I use my marker and ruler quite a bit in this journal to just draw lines and boxes and add some decorative elements. It's a simple detail that adds to the interest of the page, but keeps it open for photos, mementos, or journaling. Plus, you can always add in stickers and sentiments for a cute touch. When the background paper is already bright and busy, you can break it up by layering in a more subtle piece of cardstock as I do here. This is a great space for a photo or a list or just some notes. There is already so much going on this page, so I keep the decorations to a minimum. I pop up the embellishments on the side so I can slip a photo underneath if I want. So now I have all of my pages complete, and I'm going to divide them up between the tabbed pages and put them all together along with the covers. Depending on how thick my journal is, I'm going to use the right size cinch binding to bind it. Again, you will see once it's bound together, I have that extra hole at the top and bottom of the covers because I made my pages smaller. In retrospect, I should have made everything the same size, but as there are no mistakes in art, I have a plan. You know, seeing my other books and mini albums, that I love to add hanging tags, so that's exactly what I do. I make a tag shape using one of the 3x4 element cards and top that off with a tag from the journal bits and pieces of the collection. I do add in a metal eyelet to the holes of the tags so that they don't tear, as they will have a lot of movement on the front of the journal. I use a crocodile to flatten the eyelet and then thread some doubled up twine through the tags and secure it. Then I simply thread one end of the twine through the top hole of the journal and tie it in a knot. And voila, I use that empty punched hole and it looks amazing. So now on to seeing the entire completed journal. Okay, so on the inside of that cover page, I just have some gridded paper, which is perfect for making notes or adding lists. And then on the back side of that first tab page, I simply cut a tag shape out of the white cardstock and added some journaling lines. Here's that cute little pocket page with an additional pocket and a tag. Super cute. And then on the following page, I just added some stickers and some bits and pieces. Here's another page where you can see I used my marker and ruler, and then another journaling page. There is the hearts that I stenciled on there, and I just simply layered over a sticker and some more embellishments. You can see a lot of these pages look amazing, and they're very simple, decorated with just a few pieces of the collection. Don't you just love these large chipboard words on this second tabbed page? There are so many amazing and detailed embellishments in this collection. The stickers and the chipboard and the bits and pieces are perfect for every type of crafting. I mean, there's sewing and painting and knitting. Believe me, you will find something in this collection that touches your heart, and they are all so cute. Plus, the papers in this collection are so amazing. Here is one that looks great just all by itself. So many cute sentiments on one page. I love this page where I layered all of the different paints, and then I just simply took a marker and added in some dots. I don't know if you can read the sentiment on this page, but it says forecast, crafting with a chance of wine. I love that. On the back side of this tab page, I simply cut a pocket shape out of some of the pattern paper and then cut a tag and used one of the 4x4 element cards to stuff it. Super cute. And here's that page that I redid so that my boxes would be straight. Again, that's a personal preference. I simply removed all of the embellishments from the page, started over, used my marker and T-ruler. Here's the second stenciled heart page, and you can see I did add some watercolor. I just used a water pencil and my watercolor paints and painted them the way that I wanted. There you have it, my completed art journal. I think it turned out amazing, and I hope this inspires you to make an art journal of your very own. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you watching my videos and all of your support. See you next time. Bye.